My name is Michael Gordon White and welcome to Candid Street. In this video, I'm going to go over how I go about shooting street portraiture. The images you are looking at now are actually random candid shots that I wanted to add to the introduction. I'm going to teach you how to capture these kinds of shots in future videos. But for now, I'd like to start off with shooting street portraiture, as I feel this is actually the easier of the two kinds of street photography. The reason I say this is that when shooting portraits while out on the street, there is no need to be candid, and going candid is difficult, as you will learn later. In fact, going candid is the exact opposite of what you want to do when trying to convince people to take a break from their day to help you with creating a portrait. You want to be very open about it with big, wild arm gestures, waving your camera all over the place and jumping up and down with excitement as people approach you. Well, okay, maybe not that far, but you do want to show some enthusiasm, otherwise no one would be interested. So how to go about this kind of street photography? First off, you must have the camera set up, turned on, and ready to go. When out shooting like this, I always have the camera set to mode C1. Just look at the previous video, camera, gear, and setup to understand what I mean by mode C1. The reason for using this setting and for leaving the camera on is that if and when someone agrees to pose for me, I want to be able to just grab the camera and shoot instantly. No turning it on, checking my settings, fiddling with any buttons, nothing like that. Otherwise, you'll look like a dolt. I look like a dolt anyways, so why make this worse? Just grab the camera, point, focus, and shoot. It shouldn't take you more than a minute to grab a few shots, hand the person your card, tell them to email you if they want the pictures, then get out of there. Quick, harmless, and good. Keep it light. Keep it fun, but most importantly, get a good simple shot as fast as possible so that they can be on their way. Why do it this way? Because people are busy and it's actually less stressful for me to keep it short and fun. No one has time to swap life stories here and pose for 50 shots. Just give them a little instruction, have a plan, and execute. Done. There are photographers, famous in fact, for taking the time to learn the subject's story so that they can add it to the picture, and this is great. It makes for some real down-to-earth and relatable content. But for now, this style of shooting is just not for me. For one, it just took all I could do to get up the nerve enough to approach a complete stranger to ask for a portrait. If they say yes, I found it easier to just concentrate on taking the picture with little talk, because this I can do quickly and I find it less awkward. Although, having said that, some people want to be talked to and are happy to take questions and are very curious about my photography. You can just tell if this is the case. You quickly pick up on a person's vibe, and it can be super fun. But even so, I still like to keep it to a short and fun amount of time. It's just easier for me this way. So, what's the plan, you ask? It depends on the situation, but you definitely want to have some idea of what you're going to do if they say yes. If they are standing next to a wall, quickly set them up next to the wall and use it as a background. Help them quickly with some simple posing tips and take some shots. Be very positive and reassuring throughout the whole process and make it fun. I have lots and lots of positive energy with this kind of thing, likely because I've spent many years shooting portraiture. And you need to be animated if you want some good shots. So when a person says yes, that's when I turn it on. I kind of go crazy. Something like this. Really? You'll do this for me? That's amazing. The pictures are going to be great. You'll see. And I'm smiling and laughing and showing immense and genuine interest in the person and showing them the back of the camera and playing little tricks to get them to quickly feel comfortable and confident. And guess what? I get the shot. And in less than a minute or two, they're on their way wondering what exactly just happened. Take this guy as an example. I think he was the second person I ever approached. He was standing on the sidewalk having a smoke break outside of this huge downtown office building. I thought this ought to be easy enough for me to ask him. He'll either say yes or no, and if it's a no, then on I go to look for someone else. No big deal. But he immediately said yes, and to my surprise, he was totally into it. He even said that he'd always wanted to be asked and that I was the first. It was kind of funny, really. Here I am shaking like a leaf on a tree, totally expecting a no, but I was completely worried for nothing. I quickly took a couple of shots, gave him my card while thanking him, then off I went. He actually emailed me later that week to see how the pictures turned out. I gladly sent him one of the shots that I liked, and felt really good about the entire experience. It was actually quite surprising. You see, I had been shooting street for quite some time before I finally decided to try shooting street portraiture. I'd always felt a little guilty that I wasn't really a true street photographer unless I went out and succeeded at getting a portrait in this style. So one day, I did go out for the day with the only goal of coming home with at least one street portrait. That's it. I was going to wander around the city for the entire day until I built up enough courage to approach a complete stranger to ask them for a portrait. I would not fail, I told myself. Turns out I was right. Up next, I decided to go to the heart of the city where there are lots of people and see what I could get. And within a short amount of time, I saw this couple and asked them and got another yes. They were also super fun to be with, and we had some laughs and learned a bit about each other. He was convinced I must have been some big shot pro photographer. But no, just little old me trying to grow. I was really proud of the shot, but they never did email. Oh well. Up next, I saw this guy walking towards me from a distance and knew I had to ask him. He had cool hair and a good look, so why not try? Dude, wow, great look. You mind if I take a shot of you? Far out, sure, man, was the response, as he paused for maybe 10 seconds in this busy crowd. Up came the camera, ready to go, and I had just enough time to get this one shot and say thanks. Then the crowd swept him away. Really, that's how fast it was. Remember, always be ready to go. I was half pressing the shutter button as soon as I saw him because I felt I needed to be quick if I got a yes. I was right. Then shortly after the picture of the guy, I bumped into these guys. Okay, now, there's a challenge. I've managed one individual and then a couple together. Why not try a group of friends? No problem, in fact. These guys, in fact, were quite easy to approach because it was obvious they were not from the city, as I noticed them looking all over the place like they were trying to find something. So up I went and simply said, "Hey guys, you look like you need to have your picture taken. What do you say?" As I hold up my big camera ready to go. Yes, I couldn't believe it. So again, this is where I turned it on and became very excited and quickly set them up in a line as you see, gesturing with my hands and giving quick directions. Ready, I ask? No answer, as they are grooming themselves and getting all ready to look oh so cool. I took the first shot. I knew I had the shot, but I wanted more, having gained a significant amount of new confidence. I quickly looked at the back of the camera and played a little trick I used to use while shooting portraiture. I'm sorry guys, it didn't work out. Let me try again. As I look at the back of the camera and look oh so disappointed in the act. They didn't care. They were all into it at this point, feeling really good about themselves with all this attention. So I set up in some goofy animated camera guy pose myself, leaning way into it, and take the second and last shot. Notice the guy on the far right? Between shots, he quickly had made a small adjustment and put on his oh so cool sunglasses. I liked both shots together, but this first shot was better prior to this one small change. As I was setting up before taking the second shot, I also asked them, "So, where are you guys from?" As if I didn't know. "India," they all said together. So much fun. And that was it. I had gone out with this little challenge of mine to go try this, and I couldn't have been happier with the results. I've never tried this again since that one funny day. There are reasons for this. For one, when I'm out shooting candidly, as you will learn later, I'm all in. There is no middle ground for me. I take shooting candidly very seriously, as I like the result of this kind of photography. Portraits are fun, but there is nothing like getting a successful candid shot. The other reason is that when I shoot candidly, I cannot all of a sudden stop and go approach someone for a portrait. As you will see, this would give myself away and it would be too difficult to go back. But I certainly was glad I did try street portraiture. It was a little scary at first, but that quickly disappeared and I gained a lot of confidence. I will definitely try this again sometime. Now, it wasn't all yeses. I did get some no's. There was one no that I was really upset about, literally. I came across this young couple right in the middle of a very busy crowd. They were both dressed really nicely, and the young lady was beautiful. I had to try. But unfortunately, I neglected to notice that they were actually very nervous about being out amongst this large, noisy crowd in this big city, and I think I may have been a little too ambitious. They politely declined my offer, shrinking back, and looked at me with tremendous suspicion, as in, why would he want to take a picture of us? With a big smile and a genuine look of sadness, as I really did want their picture, I also very politely said, "It's okay, thank you, and have a great day." I did, however, manage to grab a candid shot of them as I approached, and that's what you're looking at in this image. Why would I do that, you may ask? Well, because I'm in the business of getting the shot, and they looked too good to pass up, and I was ready to shoot as I always am, so I took it. I had no idea if they were going to accept my offer of taking their portrait. It's just that my instincts took over and I just immediately reacted to the scene in front of me. I've trained myself to do just that. See a shot, take the shot. No hesitation. I've always felt guilty for having taken it, as they clearly didn't want to be photographed when they declined my offer. But in the end, I am glad that I did get this shot, as it does show this young couple very intimidated by the big city, something I often see. And there is also a nice memory associated with it. I just wish I could have given it to them, and I still wish that they would have said yes. Oh well, you can't get them all. I paid $2 for this shot. I don't recall if this was taken on the same day as the ones explained earlier. They had a sign that read, "Pics, $2. You can see it in the top left of the image. I could have easily taken their shot, just blend in and become invisible as I want to do, but something held me back. It didn't feel right. I don't shoot people out on the street intentionally. I mean, people actually living on the street. It's just not my game. But the more I watched them, the more it looked like they were travelers. They were part of a group, just not the usual people I always see on the street. So I thought, why not help them out? Paid the $2. But then she posed. That was a gift. I didn't waste time setting it up. I just took the shot. He then looked up, took one look at me and said, "Should have got 10. I quickly got out of there. So that was my street portraiture experience. It was very difficult to make myself go out and try this, as I was very nervous. But in the end, it was actually a lot of fun. If you do try this for yourself, just remember to make it a positive and fun experience for yourself and the people you are photographing. This was a fun experience, but as I said earlier, I much prefer shooting candidly and the results I'm able to get by doing that. And again, shooting candidly, you will learn all about this in future videos, or if you read my book, People, Photography, Life, and the Street. Well, that's it for now. If you like what you see, please give it a like, press the subscribe button, and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and see you again on Candid Street. Be safe.
Say something like you love me and make my day, like you always do, like you always do. Hold my hand and look me in the eye so I can tell you how I feel, tell you how I feel. Every day is something new. If I spend it with you, with you, with you. Oh, I want you right now, and I need you right now, you right now. My world is spinning round, round, around. Oh, I want you now, now, now. My world is spinning round, round, round. And I want you now, and I want you now, and I want you now. How you move and what you do has made me so crazy about you now. Now we can go anywhere you like and do anything you want, anything you want. 'Cause every day want you now, and I want you now.